If you want to go grab lunch, Kim, go ahead.
Yeah, I probably will soon. I'm just working on military and civil development.
Ooh.
Yes. Hearts of Iron 4.
Yes, I need to get those games.
It's a very fun game. I promise that you will have spare time afterwards.
Oh, I sense some dishonesty there.
You will have free time. Free time to play more Hoy.
Oh.
Okay, so we basically need to get the airship working. Also, where the fuck am I?
Oh, dang. Apparently, Leaf Spear is like pentamelded, and it's like near the max you can get.
Oh, damn.
So, yeah, it's like Uber endgame Spear.
Mm.
Everything it touches dies.
Alright. Yeah, I got teleported over to the forest area. So, one moment. We'll get the session going.
I need to go talk to Minfina at the Waking Sands again.
Yeah, go
Yes,
ahead.
we'll do that a lot.
Okay. So, for the party and their view of everything, it seemed like a perfectly normal blink jump. You guys come out overhead of Pern. You guys come out over Pern, and it seems normal. Like, everything seems normal and as it should be. But as you guys are just as the ship is kind of like doing its after jump calculations and everything checks. Suddenly, like suddenly Jadul looks very confused in her hologram. And there's and there being some alarms going off with Rem starting to run around looking at things.
One second, let me pull up Old 20.
Yeah. So you guys are on the bridge of the Starship Velociraptor, and just there's just panic going across the bridge as there are cat girls and boys running around checking things.
George is just sitting there in his with his bunny slippers and a cup of ultra coffee.
Ultra coffee. So as the so so Jericho, you're kind of like looking over all this stuff, just kind of like glancing over at the different monitors and everything, and it's just like, huh, that's weird. There isn't any information for the blink engine.
Lyrel would be looking through various screens, looking at the reports.
Yeah, Lyrell, you'd see that. Yeah, like the reason that Jadul is very confused and a little concerned is that the blink engine is gone. Like the Rev engineers are running down there checking to see like did something go wrong? Did the blink engine did something like catastrophic happen to it? No, it's just gone.
Uh,
Ra
have a
left
team
a
of
little
engineers
post-it
go
note
down
of
to the engine room.
pancake this.
I need a visual.
So the engineers get into the area with the where the engine is supposed to be. they run in, and there's a live camera feed onto like a data pad, and it shows where the blink engine once was is now just a neatly carved hole.
Raw leaves just a little yellow post-it note of
Ah.
"I'm taking this."
I will just stare. My engine!
As you say that, Lyrel, the shutters on the bridge's windows open up, and outside you see the hull is covered in scratch marks. And the hull plating where Paradox would hook up onto the Starship Velociraptor is torn out.
Jericho's
I
just
will
gonna,
begins frantically hitting various controls.
Jericho's gonna look at us like, "We've been tricked! We've been backstabbed! We've been quite possibly even bamboozled.
Jericho, this is no time for jokes!
I'm quite serious, thank you. I'm
sips
being hilarious while doing it."
sips more sips more ultra coffee.
I can't find Paradox's location or receive any data.
As
Couple
Lyrel,
that with your missing blink engine, I am highly suspect of who may have taken it. His name starts with R and ends with Ah.
Lyrel, as you're kind of looking through all the information, just like, come on, there has to be something, you find a little data file that contains what looks to be a video.
Lywell would open that up on one of the ship's main monitors.
Opening up that video file, Lyrel would get to see as time seems to stop. Paradox is looking around, looking very confused as the ship is like midway through its blink jump and see everything seems frozen, as if nothing was happening. Suddenly, these forces of some this kind of entities, you can't really tell what they are, or what they could be, or suddenly start lashing out at Paradox. Paradox, of course, taking no shit and thinking that this is a threat to it, to Lyrel, begins fighting. The fight lasts for what you can guess is probably a few minutes, as Paradox is eventually overpowered by these things and dragged away into blink space itself, within the background of the entire video being a moon.
I know that moon. Lywell's ears flatten down as she hisses at the monitor.
What is Jericho's reaction?
Yep. I thought as much.
Yep. Ra's mad. Ra is very, very mad.
Lywell's voice is a mix of various emotions. Mission abort. I'm going to contact Eden. Hello? After several minutes of trying various buttons, Jericho, I can't get a line to Heaven's Gate.
What? What do you mean?
Anytime you stalk over Jericho, you stalk over to the console, and you see that every single time Lyrel tries to call Heaven's Gate, there is just a error code that pops up. The error code that you recognize from a few different incidents involving Ra, as the error code specifically meaning Ra's taken something.
Oh, if he has eaten Space Mom, we are going to be having words.
I will then swap over and I'm gonna call Vecna.
Same arrow
Same
code.
error.
The same error code pops up.
No.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Jejewel, patch me through to Vecna.
Right. So, Lyrel, you you're patched through immediately, but it isn't a direct line, it seems to be a message. Message being, good luck, kid, I believe in you. Good luck, kid, I believe in you. With a data file for what appears to be some kind of small mecha.
Viral just stares as her tail slowly droops. She's like, no. No. Jejewel, patch me through to Vecna.
She tries, but it starts throwing up the error code.
Try again.
I can't. Lyrel, there is no point for me to contact.
Access the Hus satellite stations over home. Give me a visual.
Activating. As Lyrel, you are given a view from multiple satellites over home, and it is what you see is, well, the sucker punch is gone. Just gone entirely. With over the North Pole, over like the North Pole where Vecna had set up his tower.tm, there is a colossal hole where it once stood.
Lywell just stares blankly at the screen.
As you're staring, there is a message that comes through via an unknown, well, number, but you recognize it as a standard Union communication frequency.
Lywell does not notice this message pop up as she continues to stare at the screen. No.
Miss Lyrel,
She-
we are getting a message from a Union vessel.
No. I don't want to lose another dad.
Oh no. Jericho, as you are standing there trying to figure out what's going on yourself, you watch as Lyrel, as she just becomes sadder and sadder. You watch as the crystalline tail she has, suddenly starts to break open. Like, over the course of a few minutes, as she's trying to reason with herself that, no, this can't be. You wouldn't leave me.
Jewel, the vault. Yes, the vault on home. Route through. See if you can't override any controls for planet-side drones.
Miss Lyrel, I am not authorized to do that.
Override it.
I am sorry, I can't. Something is blocking me from to access any systems from on the homeworld.
The Force. Call the Force.
I am calling them now. And as Jadul is routing a call to the first, Joker, you watch as the tail splits down the middle and starts to reform into two tails.
Uh-oh.
And as that split happens, Lyrel, you start to feel a little bit calmer.
Lywell blinks as her eyes sort of like dilate, then constrict, then dilate before she blinks. Uh, uh,
Actually, complete. Jadul says as she will connect, as she will call as on the screen pops up the profile image that you actually helped pick for the first whenever they get called up. Teacher, is there something that's the matter?
uh, the Arctic Circle, the terraforming tower, it's gone.
Yes, we are afraid to say that it is.
Uh,
We do not know what happened. Suddenly,
I'm sending you coordinates now. I need a team of unmanned drones to investigate this area.
the
It
the first will receive these coordinates and we'll say we can see what we can do.
there should be a anomaly in space time. Nobody, no people should enter it.
You get the idea that they are very confused by what you mean by this.
Lyrel herself is very confused by it.
What do you mean an anomaly?
It's a he called it a metavolt.
Yes, we remember.
Yeah. See, he must be in there.
We will send a team as soon as possible.
Okay. Send regular updates as soon as you've got him.
Of course, we will let you know what we find. Is there a reason why you are asking us to investigate a place that one made of metal has requested us never to go to?
He must.
Yeah, the one made of metal might be gone.
Gone.
There's been some sort of incursion event or something. The moon's bad.
The moon is bad.
Yes,
you mean the
the
moon
moon's
that
really bad, and he must be hiding there from it.
you mean the second moon that appeared for a day?
Yes, exactly
Lyrel
that
sucks
one.
in her breath. Yes, it's really, really, really bad.
We see. We will figure out what we can do. And the call cuts off as Jadul makes a throat clearing noise. Miss Lyrel, you're getting a call from a Union vessel.
Have you?
No, it is not
Oh,
Heaven's
okay.
Gate. Though it's
Okay.
though the number does, I do recognize that the signal is from one of the 15th Expeditionary Fleet's ships.
Heaven's Gate. Yes. Put the MSC exterior cameras on.
So you'd say that, and the cameras start to come online as you notice that a large majority of them are not coming online. And you see that as soon as you look at one of the cameras and see that the outer two rings are just gone. Or at least the outermost ring is gone with the second outermost ring having a huge chunk missing from it.
Lyrel will just stay. Will just continue to stare. She she'll just look over at Jericho wide-eyed. Is this what it's like?
Is this what it's like to anger God? What is Jericho's response to that question?
Either Vecna fucked them off, or he is having a, or God decided to have a little bitch fit.
Miss Lyrell, would you like to answer the call that you're getting? They are being very persistent.
I need to. Uh. All right. Open call.
As you open the call, the profile picture is one that you don't recognize, but Jericho would recognize as the symbol for Eden's NHP type. As the familiar voice of Eden, sounding quite a bit drowsy, comes out. Oh, good. You're alive. That's
Eden, are you okay? Where's Vecna?
I
Oh,
am
thank goodness.
I am fine. I am as fine as I can be. Sorry, the last half year has been rough on me.
Wait, what?
You guys have been missing for half a year.
Oh, that god damn son of a... I'm going to kill God one of these days.
Jewel, what day is it?
Seeking up with Rem Network calendar. It has odd. It should have only been a few minutes. According to his calendar, it has been nearly 6 months, 7 days. It has been nearly 6 months, 6 months, 7 days, and 24 and 23 hours since we have left home. Odd.
Lywell immediately begins opening up another line to the Wem Queen.
The line fails. Just like with a message from the Queen's secretary, just like, the Queen is currently busy doing quite a few things. Please leave a message.
Lywell leaves a message, Captain. Extra dimensional god dimensional intelligence report types out a very brief report based on the very brief knowledge he has.
Alright. Okay, so from what I can tell, something happened that angered Ra. Which, well, I can't exactly pin down what exactly it was, but he was clearly very angry at us for something. What that something is, I can't really tell, but I can see that he's at least let us off a bit easy.
How is this easy?
Ra has eaten worlds before. Trust me when I say this is probably just a warning, and perhaps our last one. So moving forward, we are going to need to be very, very careful.
I am going to find him. I am going to punch him in the face.
As for Vector's status, even I don't know.
I've contacted the Force on home and organized a rescue mission. They should be able to extract him from the Metavault.
He's not in the Metavault.
He has to be.
We would still be able to contact him if he was in the Metavault.
He must just be hiding.
Lyrell, he's gone.
No,
Gone.
he's just waiting this out somewhere.
You can hear the pure sadness in Eden's voice as she says that.
Eden? You're not gonna cascade like last time, are you?
No. I was off when it happened, and I got broken nose slowly. One moment we were getting ready to continue our journey, maybe contact a few more worlds, get better relationship with the HUS. standard mission. When suddenly, I don't even know. Next thing I knew, I was being plugged into one of our other ships, I, and it's been a very long 6 months. I've been having to be turned on and off constantly in order to make sure I don't accidentally drain entire ship's power supply. And
Oh boy.
like I said, to say that this last few months have been stressful is an understatement. Without Heaven's Gate, I've made the decision to pull back the fleet to defend the Blinkgate project. We are low.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We are barely scraping by with what we can be able to produce and gather ourselves.
Hmm.
Without Heaven's Gate was the primary industrial part of our fleet. So with it gone, there goes a huge part of our ability to be self-sufficient. And ThirdCom has told us that we will be getting no Union reinforcements. They're not willing to risk angering Raw anymore. And that is orders directly from the ThirdCom Council itself. You can hear just the weight that this message has on her, the weight that it has upon her, as she's delivering this very surprising to Jericho news. The 15th Fleet is to continue its mission on what we have left and what we can be able to get. Either from support from the locals or anything, really.
So, if I am understanding this correctly, Thirdcom is basically saying, "Screw you, carry on."
Basically, yes.
Uh,
Like I said, they are not wanting to anger Raw anymore.
they could have at least sent us some spare processors.
Unfortunately, they are not willing to risk anything. Union has been on the line a bit too much in recent years, apparently. So this is mostly just a precaution to prevent the whole of humanity getting, well, erased. This entire situation is one I do not like.
The entire situation here is fucked.
That is very much one way to put it. Eden will take a moment to let everything sink in for before asking, is everyone alright?
I am incredibly inconvenienced. I'm gonna have to dig up one of my backups from this.
Supplies are incredibly low, as you can imagine.
Mhm.
So, unfortunately, most of your
Reconstructing a basic nanoforge is gonna take like at least a year.
more like at least 5. We do not have the ready access ability to quickly refine the exotic materials to create a nanoforge.
No, no,
Any
that's what.
now forces we have right now are nowhere near the scale of the ones on Heaven's Gate and are barely helping keep the fleet together. On top
Aye,
of the stresses of constructing the Blink Gate.
aye.
So your groups and well, you are some of the last Lancers on the fleet. Out of the 150 that we had, maybe 10 to 15 are left.
Ah,
I think I'm actually one of the few survivors from Heaven's Gate. Just saying that, you just hear the crushing guilt in her voice.
we're gonna fix this.
I'm sure you will. So, we're going to be shifting parameters. And, well, I've already sent a updated system log and resource necessities to you. And from now on, we'll be needing to follow standard operation procedures, aka adequate force for adequate force. Standard military doctrine of, well, we can't go overboard.
As Eden's saying all this, Lywell seems to finally stop staring off as she begins pulling out some various charts and whatnot. The Starship Velociraptor was not constructed with crew sustainability intent as it was outfitted with a blink engine. We do not have the storage capacity to hold enough food for a warp trip back to the MSC.
Yeah, that's what I figured, given the specs I've been able to, uh, well, the specs I've been given.
The LAM do not have much of a presence in the space sectors around Pawn.
Yep, I remember you bringing that up. Something about it being scary.
I would nod.
Well, luckily we do have some presence on Prime. If you can be able to get the locals to not only help supply, if you can be able to get the locals not be able to not only supply your ship, but help bring resources to the Blink Gate over Desert Prime, we might be able to help.
Suppose the lifeboats, transport vessels, could all be filled up with supplies.
I will leave that all up to you. I have had my hands full with a lot. I'll try to operate as a handler for any future missions, but my capacity is quite limited and approaching its wit's end.
Understood.
For now, your mission is to gain support and supplies for our efforts of completing the Blink Gate.
Lywell would nod.
And, well, figuring out ways to keep the fleet supplied and continue our mission of trying to unite Union and the HUS space, or at least make us allies. Well, I'm counting a lot on you. On all of you. I know you all will do good, but still. Remember, no matter what, there is risks to every operation. And that Ra will most likely be watching closely. So, be careful and stay vigilant. Valkyrie out. As she says that, the call cuts off.
Lywell looks at the blank screen.
What is Jericho's reaction to all this?
He looks pissed.
I'm not surprised.
Vecno has he has the God Machine with him. Once they manage to retrieve him from the Metavault, he can help fix all this.
I mean, anything he can do, I can do just as good.
Jericho, this isn't the time for jokes.
I'm not joking.
Jadul will pipe up. Well, I can also state that if Vecna is gone, then so is Daedalus.
Oh shit, you're right.
As I cannot find him anywhere in the network.
Well, the Vecno's Metavault is its own little pocket dimension, so that would make sense.
You realize he can't just go creating metavaults left and right, you know.
But he had the one on home.
From what information I've gained about Ra, he works very quickly. Even with the processing power and most likely speed of an NHP, the chances that he was able to escape is low. Very low.
Well, you don't know what all he could do, now do you?
Miss Lyrell, I am
Look, Lyrell,
simply...
Daddy brought out his belt. And now we're gonna have to deal with it.
Miss Lyrell, I did not mean to... Apologies. I did not mean to insinuate that Mr. Vecna was incapable of anything. I'm simply just stating that, from what I understand, from what information I've gleaned not only from Daedalus, but most conversations that you've been having, that I at least have seen, if NHPs are powerful, Ra is, from what I've seen, Ra is indeed, or at least as close as you can get to an actual god.
Lywell's tails are all swaying back and forth, but the two crystal ones are also seeming to be like almost constricting as they wind up and then sort of quickly unravel before winding up the other way.
You know what this means, though?
Would that be, Mr. Jericho?
I am now in command of the Lancer team.
Would that make sense? She asked, very confused.
I mean, Jericho was already put in charge before the mission started.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course, Mr. Jericho.
like I am not only am I just been put in command, I am now literally the senior commander of every Lancer left.
That appears. I do not know if that is the full way of looking at it, but I suppose that is a
God, I
decent way.
hate responsibility. I became a Lancer to get away from having to do the whole soldiering thing.
Well, unfortunately, there is not much option that we have.
No, there isn't, and I bloody hate it.
Uh, at that moment, Lywell would more message and comms would open up from like the engineer team. Fuel leakage in the hole where the blink engine used to be. Oxygen escaping from the hole from the damage due to the deck. And so Lywell would sit back in her captain chair with her hat pulled sort of low over her face and order and have the ship put in a stable planetary orbit while the engines war, and then have the engines cut for repair.
The teams work very quickly. Following her orders, the Jadul moves the ship into a stable orbit around Pern, and will have the engines be cut while the rest of the REM start getting to work. As you are going over an orbit, Lyrell,
It's then that Lywell would actually stop and say, Jadul,
yes.
you were attached to the blink engine. Where are you?
One moment. Please look above your head.
Lywell looks up.
And you will see the data core of Jadul just haphazardly wired into the roof.
Lywell's like,
Oh boy, we're gonna need to reinforce that.
those cables aren't properly synced up, and that line is not warranted for that weight. And did he use a double converter instead of simply using the proper port?
There's also a
He's
metric.
God, not an electrician.
There's also a metric fuck ton of tape.
That's not is that regular Terran duct tape?
Yeah.
The recipe hasn't been changed in over like 60,000 years.
That's a dad job, alright.
That's a dad job.
Once they are in orbit and the engine cuts, gravity from the ship, or everyone basically begins floating because the ship is no longer either accelerating or rotating to generate artificial gravity.
Yeah.
So Lywell will just pulse up to the ceiling, and
Erica's magnetic feet just kick in.
Please be gentle with my brain.
Lywell just begins sort of mumbling to herself. She's still talking about you know how Vecna will put all this right, and Eden doesn't have the scanner she used to, so that's why she can't detect Vecna, and everything will just be fine.
Vecna has to be alive, and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine.
Cat,
As she's basically
don't go deluding yourself.
as she begins to detach Jadul from this random hobslob in the ceiling to setting the ship systems all to manual for the transfer process before taking her down and putting her over the what had been a proxy, now primary engine.
After the reconnections are done and Jadul is brought fully back online, she will admit that that was a strange feeling. That was indeed a very strange feeling.
Well, just kind of hugs the core.
Thank you, Miss Lyrell.
Uh,
Shall
And then
we
she'll
get started on? Shall I get started on
Uh,
preparing mission data?
Lywell would touch a comment with you. Communications. Have you been able to establish contact with the uh with the scary guy?
Scary guy?
That would be Veta.
Um, we've been trying. His ship is still their
They
ship.
would have they would have done a mooring lock before jumping.
Yeah, they're saying. Well, we're trying to gain contact. Their ship is linked up. It's they aren't returning the calls. We think they're
Uh,
still asleep. We don't know. We're also too scared to go find out what's going on.
Lywell would nod. Uh, if they don't, if there's no response within the next 24 hours, send in a team. See if you can't see if you can't gain access to the ship.
Of course, miss. We'll figure out what we can do. And she and the Rem will sign off as they will try to get to work on figuring out. Okay, what do we have to do to get on board the scary person ship? We don't want to be
Well,
on the scary person ship.
well, no, they don't want to. But basically, what's going to happen is they're going to wait 24 hours. After 24 hours, they're going to try and hack their way into it. If they can't do that, then it's lightsaber time.
Yes, we're just gonna come in like, allow me. Sends the wake up signal.
Well, how were they to know that one of those exists?
Ask Jericho.
Miss Cyrell, shall I get processes underway in order to secure the longevity of the ship?
Uh, yes. Inform the kitchen that rations are to go from uh lavish to standard.
Of course.
Uh, put on on travel regulation water use.
Already completed.
I would nod. And the air filter?
Set for reuse. Set for recycling mode.
Well, I mean, they're on a spaceship. It would always be set to a cycling mode.
Basically, put to max efficiency mode.
Having the amount of lemon fresh scent added to the air supply.
No, they don't do that.
It
The idea popped in my head. I had to say it, at least to joke.
is a good joke, though.
And then Lywell would finally,
Oh, ow. Oh,
Lywell,
I absolutely
put to,
slept on something funny.
landing, landing crews,
Oh.
put together a team. We're going to need to establish a landside base in the scary dragon parasite planet of really big things
As you are
that
saying,
breathe fire.
as you are saying these things, getting even more and more scared as you say them. Irel,
I,
Jadul
I
will.
assume Lizzie is in the. I assume Lizzie is in the ballroom.
Yes.
There's currently a group of them trying to keep her from pulling down the fancy handmade chandelier.
Nom, nom,
It will
nom.
not support her weight. She cannot swing on it.
She's wanting to swing on it, but she cannot.
He, I believe.
No, he.
Oh.
Most dragons are male unless they are golden, in which case those are female. There are normal. They're all different
Thought
colors.
Iggy was a female, though.
No, Iggy's a he.
No,
Oh,
they're,
okay.
they're both bees. They is good boy.
Or we canonically said that Iggy was non-binary, much like the Vector.
Hmm.
Either way. So, yeah. the Lizzie is like trying to swing on the chandelier, but the Rem are telling them, no, stop, please, no, it can't handle your weight. And it's a magic Jericho just sitting there watching this, just laughing.
Probably.
We will. I will have a team of the bravest members of the crew that are willing to go to be head down. Shall I prepare a shuttle for you and your team?
That's probably a good idea.
Oh.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I just saw Games Workshop released 5 new codexes for the Space Marines, but still nothing for the AdMech.
Yep.
They do that.
Oh, what is this? On Roll20.
Oh, I was just about to get to that. So, as you are going over things with Jadul, Jadul suddenly pipes up and says, We are getting a transmission from a we are currently getting a transmission from a space station in orbit of Pern.
On has space
Oh.
stations?
It has a space station. Did
A
they
s-
manage to reclaim that?
Lywell blinks and is like, how did a planet of feral dragons make a space station?
It was there before they colonized the planet.
It, Jericho would fill in Lyrell that the space station was part of a colonization project to colonize Pern before it found out about the fucking thread and everything. And the space station has basically been in orbit for roughly, give or take, a few thousand years.
Mostly abandoned.
Yes.
Lywell's eyes do a thing where they go wide, and she's like, how long?
Very long.
Jericho just kind of like, Jericho, can you give me a general knowledge test? Just like Jericho trying to remember a thing that he remember hearing in passing while he was here last time.
Yeah. I think that'd be like a word on the street.
Yeah.
1.
Jericho, you remember roughly in passing that you remember the like the main wear commander saying something about it being like roughly 10 cycles or 10 passings since their people have been on the space station.
It has been a long, long time, yes.
Would you say more than 700 years?
Maybe?
But, like, specifically.
Uh, could well be, yes.
Lywell's tails all perk up. She opens her comms. Team? We have salvage!
Miss Lyrell, the space station is trying to contact us.
Lywell stops. Wait, it's occupied?
Yes.
Yes. No, like I
Cancel the
said, like I just said, they reclaimed it.
Oh. All her tails slump down.
Don't worry,
Cancel the salvaging.
don't worry. I'm very sure that the hero's welcome we got when we were here last time. We are probably now, given how much time has probably passed,
What,
figures of legend.
Lyrel, Jericho, give me a what would be a good test to kind of think about how long it's been since you were last here?
I'd say math.
A math test? Like a skill test, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho's really good at math. Even him just like napkin mathing this, he's probably decently close.
I'll just give me a general D20. All right, Jericho, you kind of like take a napkin from the plate you're from the silverware and just kind of do a bit of calculations on it,
Why does
thinking
the engine room have napkins and silverware?
Why don't they?
because yes. So he just
Don't you
like
know engineering's a very valuable engineering resource?
so Jericho, so later on, you just see Jericho just somehow pull out a napkin and a pen out of nowhere. His clothes have no pockets in them.
No, there's plenty of pockets.
No, you're in a
Trust me,
bathrobe
I've
currently.
studied his
Remember,
outfit. He has all the pockets.
you're in a bathrobe right now. Remember.
The bathroom still has pockets.
Also, there's no way he's getting those arms through bathrobe sleeves.
True. So you just watch Jericho pull out a napkin and a pen, do some like very complex calculations about time relativity, and he's just like, Jericho, you realize you guys have been gone roughly in the ballpark of 50 to 60 years.
Oh boy, that's
Like accounting for strange relativity and the sudden realization of a time skip.
Oh, that's going to make things interesting. Oh, ow.
What
Oh.
is Lyrell's reaction to this?
Honestly, the combination of realizing they don't get to salvage a huge space station on top of everything else, this has kind of been a bit too much, as she's just kind of now curled up under one of the giant drums of the engine.
She needs her peanut butter.
Do you try to lure the Lyrell out of her hiding spot with the peanut butter?
This is not the
Jericho does
40K
not yet know
timeline.
to have peanut butter on him at all times.
Yeah, this is not the 40K timeline. He does not have the emergency peanut butter.
The head of engineering just like sees this, grabs a jar of peanut butter, and just hands it over to Lyrell.
Well, the head of engineering would know their captain well.
Yeah, the head of engineering just sees this, goes over to a cabinet marked emergency, and just opens it and there's a jar of peanut butter in there.
Just looks like peanut butter is an emergency?
Hands it over to the captain with a spoon.
Captain slowly reaches out. Engineer slowly backs up, ever so cautiously drawing out from under the engine.
Now, Captain, that's no way to behave. And with after a bit, Lyrell is now fully out of the engine, sitting next to Jericho, eating a jar of peanut butter.
Oh.
So, Jadul, in this entire time, has just been holding a call from the space station.
Sure.
He just contacts Jericho, just like, Is it possible? Would you be okay if I transfer the call over to you?
I do that.
As and so after give or take a few minutes, the call suddenly uh comes through, and you hear what sounds like a young guy's kind of a younger not younger but an older guy's voice ask, "Unidentified vessel, who is this?"
This is Commander Jericho of the Starship Father.
Jericho, you're going robot. Come again. You're kind of staticky.
This is
There's a bit of a
Commander
solar storm
Jericho.
happening.
This is Commander Jericho of the Starship Velociraptor, formerly of Heaven's Gate.
Lywell cuts into the line. Belay that you. I am Captain Lywell, actual commander of the Starship Velociraptor.
No, actual captain. Commander is under captain.
1 second.
Identified vessel. Hold on. Starship Velociraptor. One moment. We'll look over our records.
A few decades ago, you would have probably encountered Heaven's Gate and the 15th Expeditionary Fleet. Uh, we're with them.
Just there's a long pause. Wait a minute. The ones who took the cursed silver dragon.
That was one of us. Yes.
Please stand by.
Like, his name is Yggdrasil. We would prefer you do not insult him.
Please stand by. And after give or take uh 20, this line just goes quiet.
Oh, okay. I see my mistake. I was thinking a different branch of the military.
Mm-hmm.
The line just kind of goes quiet for like 20 minutes before the person returns, before suddenly a different, much older and much gruffer uh voice will take up the communication. Jericho?
Yes, me. Who is this?
It's James from. You probably don't remember me. It's been so long.
No, the name definitely rings a bell.
Jericho, you would
It's just,
remember that James was one of the younger dragon riders that you had made friends with when you guys were on Pern.
it's just a little jarring hearing you so old.
the healer said that they're surprised I've made it to 80, but I feel I got another 10 years in me.
I mean, you always were a plucky
uh, can you say again? I think there's a bit of a solar storm going on.
I must be.
I love how we could canonically explain Jericho going robot mode as a fucking solar storm. I just find that funny. So, Jericho, so it takes a bit for the interference to clear out, as
Okay. How's that? Sounding better?
much better. It's
You always were a plucky, but as I was saying, you always were a plucky bastard.
that's what the Rare Commander always said. May he rest well.
Oh, aye, he'd be, quite a ways gone by now, wouldn't he?
He was approaching 65 when you guys came. It's been around
He went
60 years, give or take.
he went out well, I take it.
Went down with his dragon.
Ah, glorious, glorious, honorable.
His husband threw a great funeral. I wish you were there.
I wish I'd been there too.
But what has happened has happened. You guys are here now. And, well, it's good to hear from you all. Is Vecna and the others there?
Yes, but we're in a bit of a pickle right now.
What's wrong? What
Unfortunately,
happened?
we have had a bit of a run-in, and our
Is it those
abundance of
Ravager guys
resources.
again?
No.
Lywell
Some
would, at that moment, mute the call and look at Jericho. I feel for the time being until Vecnor can be retrieved that we should keep the situation as confidential as possible to avoid causing any sort of issues. It wouldn't do well to tell people of another sector that your god went around eating entire starships.
you realize I wasn't going to tell him everything. You notice I said we had a bit of a run-in, not God ate our fucking fleet.
Lywell would look at him for a moment, then slowly nod and unmute the line.
Aye, so
Repeat again, and I think there was some more interference.
I no. We had a bit of a run-in. So our capacity is a little bit diminished, just for the time being.
I see. Well, the people of Pearl are still indebted to you.
Aye. How? Well, speaking of Vecna, how are his tanks coming along? They've been very effective, I hope.
Oh, yes. We're actually approaching the end of the Threadfall season. The last, hopefully.
Ah, wonderful.
And the people from the Red Star have been very helpful in dealing with it as well.
Oh, right.
Yes, it's quite surprising knowing that there was other life out here, besides us and the dragons. But no matter that, we're just happy to have some allies out here.
Aye. Good to have friends, you know.
Indeed. Why don't you come aboard? We can give you a bit of a tour of the revamped station.
Aye, that sounds lovely.
And bring that captain. I'm sure she'll like to see it.
I'm sure she would.
I'll see you in time. And with
Mm,
that, the call is hung up.
I think I might need to call it there. Yes, I have slept on something funny, and it is really distracting.
That works okay for me.
No.
Is that okay with you, Lyra? Or Slaya? Hello?
I think the cat took a nap.
No, I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm just like, this is like the 12th session in a row where it gets cut early.
Sorry.
Slaya, if you want, we can actually continue a little bit with you getting a tour of the station. It's not like it's going to affect too much, and it would just be some RP.
I mean, this party seems to be known for splitting up, so I wouldn't doubt it that the second they arrive, Lywell's gone.
Yeah. So we
I
can.
don't know how the party has actually stayed alive this long.
I am surprised as well. Trust me, especially with the weird antics they all get up to.
Oh, and now he shows up.
Hey Rice. How you doing?
I genuinely do not know what the fuck just happened.
Oh.
So, I have my alarms set up to ring 4 times in an hour.
Yep.
Usually that's enough to get me up by, at most, the second ring. I don't know what happened because my alarms are on. Like, I have, okay, alarm Saturday, 6 a.m., 6:10, 6:15, 6:20. They're on, they're set to ring Saturday, and yet my phone is telling me they didn't.
That's weird.
They
Indeed
did not
weird.
ring.
That means that mine rang and I slipped straight through it.
Oh.
So I mean, you know,
Like
me
I
sleeping
could
through.
understand you sleeping through them, but them not going out. That is super weird.
Yeah,
Like,
usually
for
if they
me?
go off, it'll leave like a message that's saying, "Oh, you missed an alarm" or something. But no, there's nothing. There's
Yeah, no.
some
I did
Discord
slept through my phone blaring the entirety of the Starship Velociraptor.
Yeah, there's Discord
And
notifications, YouTube notifications, Twitter notifications, something from Steam, one thing from Reddit that I keep seeing, something from Spotify, and apparently I have a voicemail. But there is no alarm, like, hey, you missed your alarm notification.
Yeah, that is
Which
super weird.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah,
well, I
you're
guess
fine.
since today has been the day of sleeping in.
How much did I cause the sessions to be delayed by?
Oh, not even.
We
Oh,
did wait about an hour and a half for you, and then another hour and a half for Jericho.
that's
Yeah.
entirely fair.
yeah.
So if anything, I was the one holding up things probably the most.
To give a quick
Oh.
rundown of events. Well, actually, no, that'd be PV. You're the DM. You should give the rundown of events.
Alright, to give a quick rundown of events, we have gone over Heaven's Gate got eaten, part of the MSC getting munched as well alongside that. Gone through Lyrell going through some going through the 7 stages of grief. Currently she's on denial.
Emotional damage.
5
Yes.
stages.
Yeah, the 5 stages of grief.
Oh.
Currently Lyrell is on denial, believing that Vector is within the Meta Vault.
She actually contacted the Frost and convinced him to send a whole detachment to try and get to Vecna's Metavault because she's convinced he's just hiding there.
We've gone over the message that she would get from Vector when she tried to contact him the first time.
Meanwhile, 621 has been sent the wake-up call because they've arrived at Pern.
Yes.
And yeah, Veta has not responded to any attempts to hail him, so Lywell gave Haku the order saying if they could not get him to wake up soon, that they should attempt to gain access to his ship. So there's a bunch of them attempting to hack the control panel with just lightsabers at the ready if that fails.
Jericho interrupted them and is just like, no, let me just send the command wake-up code.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, right now, Veta would wake up with there being a message from both Lyrell and Jericho saying shit's fucked, basically. Reading through the messages and the recording of Eden basically explaining that we made Ra angry somehow.
Ra had the temper tantrums.
That what is left of the fleet has retreated to the Blinkgate project, and that Union, basically, from Union, is an order of basically, we cannot send reinforcements at this time. We do not want to anger Ra anymore.
Oh, I am dead. I'm dead and this is hell. Oh.
Speaking as who right now? Veda or Vecna?
Yes.
I am dead and this is hell. Oh. Right. Right. Okay. 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 First, plan of action. Second, plan of contact. Second, backup plan. Third, escape plan in case things go south. Fourth, better escape plan in case things go south. Fifth, plan to kill everyone you meet. Christ. Veta is having a slight panic attack.
Yeah, I can imagine why. So, Veta, it takes you quite a bit to calm down. And after basically just having a panic, basically a panic attack, and worried out your mind about what the fuck is going to happen to you, you're able to build up the courage to leave your ship.
Boarding ramp go hiss.
And outside, you see a bunch of the cat girls looking in awe.
All wearing their little suits. They have various sort of. They have whole terminals just kind of floating there next to the hull as they've wired into whatever ports they can find.
Veta just glances down at them, straightens up, arms behind their back, and completely ignoring them, marches down the ramp and out of the hangar.
There is no artificial gravity being generated at the moment.
Mag boots.
I think
mag boots.
at the moment, isn't Veta's ship just floating in space behind the Velociraptor?
Kinda. It's kind of docked / floating. It's in a weird place.
Once again, Veta has Veta has their voids or hard suit on at all times.
Yeah.
So, well, civilian model hard suit on at all times, combat model hard suit less so. But both are hard suits and both allow them to engage the magnetic boots and just walk down the ramp, step off into space.
Jericho has the mech feet. He doesn't need the magnetic boots, he has the magnetic feet.
Yeah. So Veta, you do a bit of a spacewalk out and get into the Starship Velociraptor. After asking for some directions from one of the passing engineers who was rushing to go do stuff. For what you can tell, the journey was not exactly nice.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You would see the deck of the Velociraptors just utterly torn to shreds, like it was just bombarded with shrapnel ones over and over.
That sounds about right.
So after a bit, you are able to find Jericho and Lyrell in the engine room, currently going over a message.
Not quite the engine room. I think now they'd be in the hall outside of it. As they're sort of heading towards this other ship, they'd sort of meet midway.
Ah, yes.
Ah, you're finally awake.
Yes.
You sleep well, princess.
Do you really think now's the time for jokes?
I would say that there's no better time for jokes.
I would say that there's no better time to remain serious. But you do you. I understand everyone has their own stress relief and their own methods of, what's the word? Grief management? I believe that's it. Humor can be a coping mechanism, I understand.
Lywell currently has her helmet off, which would be the first time Veta would see her without her helmet. She's holding a small little, almost baby food-sized jar of peanut butter.
Consider this, the cosmic farce that I am now the senior commander of the Lancers out here. Not just in command of the, not just put in command of the team, but the senior of all of them. And you tell me now's not the time for jokes.
And you're telling me you think it is?
If the universe is playing the biggest joke of them all on me, I would say I'm allowed a cracker too.
So, Veta, as you are talking with Jericho and glancing over to Lyrell, noting, that's what she looks like without the helmet, you notice that she actually has two crystalline tails now.
Regardless, I doubt that you actually understand the true severity of the situation.
The severity is that we're fucked. Or very close to.
No, we are fucked. Without a direct link back to Union, as Union has sent a message that they will be refusing to aid us due to fear of Ra's rage, we will have to complete this blink gate on our own. We will have to defend the blink gate on our own. Reading through the reports, we have not exactly made the most apt environment for us to be unharassed.
And we don't have nanoforges to help us in this process.
Indeed.
Lywell would walk up to Veta and look up at him as and if my repair teams are available to help fix any damage that was done to your ship from the incident.
Thankfully, from what I could see, my ship was unharmed. Jostled, but
Lywell tilts her in confusion.
dragged through a field of broken glass like yours was.
What about your missing blink engine and nanoforge? Was there no damage done to their housing?
You mean my recycler foundry? That is fine. My meals are not in danger.
Lywell looks tilts her in confusion. I had been informed by Commander Eden that your ship was equipped with a miniature nanoforge and it had its own blink engine, but since Raw's taken them all, I assumed there would be some damage dealt in that process.
It is scrambled, yes. Well, it was scrambled. But considering that it is used to make food, I don't believe the Ra saw it necessary to remove it. Perhaps he doesn't want us to starve. As for my blink drive, it is non-functional at the moment, but it is still intact. It simply will not turn on. Likely intended to make it impossible to return to Union.
Lywell frowns a bit but nods.
It's going to be that little bit of oversight that helps us get us back on our feet.
Most likely, yes. But there is no guarantee that I or anyone will be able to re-engage my blink drive.
It still means we can do more.
Jericho, voice.
Aye, no.
Lywell
Means
would
we can
nod.
make more. The only problem becomes fuel. We're reduced to being savages for the time being.
One of Lywell's crystal tails just kind of flows over and Gibbs smacks him on the back of the head.
I am naming that tail to Vecna Jr.
I do not believe your NHP would take very kindly to that. Psychological profile did not read as such.
As you
Well,
say that,
he
Veta,
is currently not here.
as you say that, Veta, a hologram of Jadul appears next to him and says, "Unfortunately, you NHP, child of Ra, by the name of Vector, is missing."
What?
Yes, him and his ship and the tower TM, as he called it, are gone.
I've contacted forces on the planet where his metavault is located, and they should be able to retrieve him here soon.
I see. I
Like we said, shit's fucked.
yes, I can see that. I do hope you find him. In the meantime, I believe it is important that we attempt to make a plan of action.
Indeed. Commander Eden has given us the orders to try to secure supply lines.
Agreed.
We are currently over Pern, and she has deemed that this would be a fairly good starting point.
Hmm.
From what information I have gathered, Pern does see the 15th Fleet as heroes,
Hmm.
so they may be more willing to help us.
Indeed. I remember reading that in one of the earlier after-action reports I was supplied with. Though I am unsure if they have the technological base to adequately make use of the farmable land they have. We may have to input extensive resources to supply adequate amount of food to the fleet.
Indeed. I am currently looking into projections. But I will need more accurate information about the ecology and, in general, resources available on the planet.
Very well. I suppose we can do a survey. If
I mean,
that is all
If
right.
the last time we would hear was
Acting
anything to go
Commander.
by, it's a pretty resource-rich world, and we did leave them a sizable number of military vehicles to help defend themselves.
Yes, the Hellfire tanks.
Yes.
I will admit that was quite the ingenious move. Heat-based weaponry is effective, and the designs were simplistic. Very clever. Though I do worry about giving on. I do worry about giving peoples who may not be quite ready for that level of technology hyper advanced weaponry. We will see.
Jadul will nod. Indeed. But it appears that they have at least been able to reclaim the space station. They are, in fact, offering us a tour of it.
I see. Well then, shall we take it? This offer of theirs?
Jadul will just nod a little before their hologram disappears. I will prepare a shuttle for the party.
Thank you. This is not good. Dangerous. Must never take action. Must never take stuff. This is
So, after give or take half an hour, the Jadul gives the signal that the uh, shuttle is ready for the party to use.
Lywell would lead the way to one of the Ram personnel transports. Inside the ship, they are standing in what looks like a 30-foot by 30-foot by 40 feet hangar, and both sides have various doors and ladders to other doors, and otherwise it's mostly just that and empty an empty storage an empty transport ship.
well.
Oh.
Ship is a ship, I suppose.
Yes. So Lyrell would immediately scramble her way to the cockpit, as she is wont to do.
Yes. She'd head over to the one set of doors, open it, look at Jericho and Veta. Stay here. And then close the door behind her as she goes over to the cockpit.
Are we not supposed to get on the shuttle, or?
Well, no, they're on the shuttle, but you're on the transport shuttle. She's just saying stay in the hangar part of the transport shuttle.
Got it.
And yeah, she'd quickly navigate over to the other station.
All right. So it isn't long until the shuttle make it docks with the station in orbit over Pern. You all, as you guys as the ship docks and is firmly secured, the hangar bay will close and the room will pressurize, letting you all be able to come out and start to uh, meet the people that are coming out.
All right then.
One of the first is someone who looks quite old. His body does look quite frail and is his body does look quite old and frail, but there are still clear signs of musculature and that he is kept very fit over the long years.
Hmm.
Once the room is confirmed to be fully sealed and pressurized, he'll take off his helmet. Jericho, it's good to see you again.
Aye, managed to. You've managed to keep well.
A dragon rider must always keep in shape. Never know when he must fight. And these are some of your new companions.
These are some of the remaining crew. Yes.
Remaining crew. I know you
It is-
said
Like
that there's been a snag, but
Aye, with
It's a long
a lot of quite a few of the people that you knew are currently rather indisposed.
I see. Well, no matter. Come, come. Ah, it's been a long time. I'm sure you all would like a drink.
Lywell would step out of the ship a minute later, and she would walk up, hold out her hand. Hello, I am Captain Lywell Onk of the. Then she stops. She blinks.
You just see this like very old, wizened man.
No, that's not it. She stops. She thinks for a second, then starts again. I'm Captain Lywell Onk of the Starship Velociraptor.
Well, well. Have you forgotten what ship the name of your ship?
No, it's my position changed recently after a rather long time.
Oh, well, no matter. We all must get used to the changing times. He will nod to himself a little bit after saying that, and will wave you all to follow him as he starts guiding you through the zero G tunnels.
As they're walking together, Veta and Jericho would hear Lywell muttering to herself, "My fleet's gone."
After a few minutes of culling through the different parts of the station, you all eventually appear at a bar of some kind. With the with you all being given pouches of what you guess can be alcohol. This is only a temporary stint. We're transferring here and on the surface for training exercises. Uh, Unfortunately, dragons can't make it to space yet.
That
Hmm?
no, nothing.
Is
It
something the
is
matter? I know your
no, just
dragons are here in space, but
yes. I mean,
We're
We are
having
wor-
to reverse engineer our own old technology just to get us back up to the station. It's not exactly
I
an easy
know
process.
a personal project of mine, but unfortunately, due to current circumstances, that's had to be delayed.
Oh,
Yes.
well, no matter. I'm very much willing to help in any regard. As well, I'm sure there's many here on Perm that have heard the legends and still believe that we are indebted to you, even after
I
all these
mean,
years.
we were glad to help, but we not to sound like some beggars, but we definitely could use the help.
Then,
As much as it takes us swallowing our pride to admit that.
then we'll need to contact the council. Then we'll need to summon the council and get everyone together.
Hmm. No, we came here to help. Now we are the ones in need of help. This is
Don't let it be said that the people of Perm do not. Don't let it be said that the people of Perm do not repay their debts. When we owe you a great one. If
I mean,
if
you
what
gave us dragons. I would say things are already relatively even, but
your group saved us from the threat to the of the Fred. Do you expect us to not want to repay you as much as we can?
I I really can't argue with that.
There will be generations that have never known the threat, and there will only be stories. But that is no matter. Today is a happy day, and let us drink to that.
I definitely need a drink after what we've been through.
I, well, would be standing by a window looking back at the Velociraptor.
the
Oh, nothing alcoholic for her. She's intolerant.
ah, no, that's fine. He says as he will have the everyone have the basically the bartender that's attending bring a pouch of water.
Alright, no, her kind have a very sensitive constitution.
Alcohol intolerance.
Oh no, it's fine. There are some who can't handle alcohol, there are some that can. Simple as. But
Jericho is very clearly holding his tongue here.
I mean, that's honestly all the information Jericho has on it.
like he doesn't really question
That
it.
is the
He knows
information
that
Jericho
like a lot of
has,
these people from
but Jericho
Union.
can say is trying not to say how intolerant.
Ah,
He's just like from this guy's point of view, he sees Lyrell as just another weird person from Union. Because these guys have no idea who or what the Rem are. So his only experience with someone like Lyrell was Haran, who was just literally a genetically modified person. So he's just like, it's another one of those people from Union.
yeah. See,
Whatever.
when the Lem first realized what exactly was on pawn, they just kind of noped out of that entire star system and never set up anything in the area.
Also pointing out here that, Jericho is treating her as a lancer, not as a rem.
yes. So So after a good few rounds of drinking and talking, he will get up and say, "Well, I'll send a message down surface side. And well, I imagine you can be able to get down to the surface much faster than we can."
I probably.
He just gives you a pat on the back. Well, my station's still up here for at least another 2 weeks. If we meet back down planet side, I'm sure my little girl would love to go for a race with yours.
I'm sure Vessel will love to have some more dragon company for a baby.
The old man will kind of look over to Veta. Not much one for words, are ya?
Oh, 621 here is known as a pretty silent type.
621. That's not exactly a
Veta.
name.
I would prefer you just call me Veta.
Veta. Alright.
Jericho has named me 621 due to some kind of personal joke he has, and because I annoy him.
Ah. Nicknames always come from the widow's spots.
If you need to use a nickname, Raven or Madcat will work.
I'll just call you Veta. It's your name after all. Only seems
Right.
proper to use it. I am Where Commander James.
Pleasure to meet you.
Alright. I better stop before I get any more drunk. Healers keep saying that I need to limit my drinks, so... I best keep listening to them, or else I might not make it to 90.
Yes, that would be unfortunate.
He nods and smiles before going to pushing himself off the bar and climbing his way through the tunnels. Veta will actually make note that, yeah, no, this thing does not have any kind of, like, even spin gravity on it. So you guys are all sitting at the bar. Lyrell, you are looking at the Starship Velociraptor as repairs are being made to it as quickly as possible.
Yes, Lyrell has not touched her drink.
Lyra, are you going to drink? You know
I'm
my
sorry,
judgment.
Weiss. I can barely hear what you've been saying.
Ah. Lyra, are you going to drink? Hydration is important, you know.
Lyrell just like... Mine could go in space.
What?
Oh.
He
Oh no! All this talk of dragons is make the cat sad.
Oh. Huh. Alright then.
Have you ever watched as your own child gets eaten by a moon?
Uh, no. I've never had that particular experience before.
I didn't think I would either.
Hmm.
We accounted for everything. Gravity wells, warp incursions, the weight of the ocean.
What? What does tidal weight have to do with a child?
But we didn't think we'd have to engineer a way to fight off a god.
I don't think you can.
I'll have to ask Vecna when he gets out of his metavault.
As she's saying that, Veta, you actually see as Lyrell's tails are wrapping around her.
Right. Uh,
Veta does not know how to deal with this kind of depression.
Jericho's just gonna give her some more peanut butter.
I mean, to be fair, you know, Jericho's really just been twisting that fork this entire time.
He hasn't meant to.
And the guy from Pern doesn't even really know.
yeah. I'm gonna just leave you to it.
Veta, do you ask Jericho what in the world is wrong with Lyrell?
No, 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 thank you. Veta doesn't know. Veta doesn't want to know. It is a private matter.
I think Ved is quite capable of piecing together that Ra ate her dragon.
Well, Veta didn't know the dragon existed.
He only ever saw it sleeping on the deck.
You probably thought it was like a mantelpiece or something.
I mean, yeah. Giant metal things just sitting on top of a ship that just looks like some kind of ornament.
I'd say it looks a little too armed to be an ornament.
I mean, Paradox doesn't.
ornaments
He
exist.
spends most of his time being still. He doesn't move a whole lot when he doesn't need to.
Yeah, weaponized ornaments are a thing.
And that.
The giant Russian cannon that they made. Varangian? No.
At most, he probably just would have assumed it was a spare mecha.
Yes,
people
but I
have made
mean,
their
some
mechs
people
look
have very
like
strong
weapons.
sentimental attachments to their mecha.
So, as you are, so as you guys kind of wind down, you guys are able to eventually pull Lyrell out of her funk. With the idea, with Jericho actually even tempting her with old technology salvage from Pern.
Mm.
That gets like one tail to pork up.
Um, do you want to see dragons?
And there it goes.
Shit.
That's why the project was initially proposed by the cabinet. We didn't know what they'd be capable of, or we didn't know if our cloaking would even work against such a thing. So thought we thought it necessary to take a more active approach. It was a rather controversial decision, but the project commenced and we couldn't find any materials that would hold up. Then, you know, when we went to the underground and Vecna's Terra starship, we got a sample of the hull, and it was amazing. It was a metal that would fix and mend itself. It was somehow alive, every part of it, a hyper condensed capacitor, a processor, each cubic inch a supercomputer by itself, able to
I'm sorry, you made something like that and you're surprised Ra got pissed? that thing's existence breaks like 17 different laws of thermodynamics and quantum physics, let alone multiple of his own laws.
Yeah,
How
well,
did you not know he was going to take it?
remember, the Rem do not have much experience with robbing Angie.
Oh.
And then when we plugged it, Lyrell continues, not really paying attention to what is Vetta's saying. Explains how when they plugged it into the Galvanon Veil reactor, they melded and split out into the frame as if it somehow knew its own design.
Uh, uh, I, I, fuck this. I'm just gonna. I can't deal with this. Fuck this. Better just gets up and starts wandering off. They have better things to do than. Well, no, they don't. But they don't.
They don't want to deal with the depressed cat girl.
Yeah.
So you guys are able to drag Lyrell away back to the ship. Basically, Jericho like telling her like about like, oh, there's old technology down there. There's stuff like
No, I
it could
imagine
be
Jericho
history
walks
stuff.
up, just kind of picks her up by the scarf, is like, "Come on, we're gonna find you a nice scrap heap you can dismantle."
Not quite.
Damn.
But similar energy, though.
So, you guys are able to pile into the ship after being able to entice Lyrell to go down. You guys pile into the ship and head down to Pern. And that will actually be an okay place for us to stop for today.
That's good.
That's fair.
Yeah. You guys, I need a bit of time to finalize a few things, yada yada.
Yeah, you're alright.
But,
Apologies about my alarms.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was expecting either like you either forgot or you just slept through the alarms or something. I did not think that they would be, well, not going off.
Yeah. I genuinely don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, you're fine, hon. You're fine. But for today, that'll be it. Hope you all have enjoyed.
Alright.
Yes, I had the fun. You gave my character depression.
At your request, might I add.
It's not a tabletop game unless someone's getting depression.